on the defensive side of the ball, what characteristics do you guys have to bring to be successful? Coach said something about being aggressive, but also disciplined, to where you're not being overly physical and just fouling guys.
Yeah, like Coach said, just being aggressive, being assertive on the ball, just playing with high level intensity, but at the same time not getting in foul trouble. Just being in the right spots at the right time, not letting the intensity of us playing take us out of the wrong positions, to lead to an easy bucket.
Yeah, I'd say it's physical on the ball, but disciplined off the ball. We got to be one team on defense. I think a lot of people realize the chemistry on offense, but I think more importantly it's on defense, and just understanding where guys need to be and how to guard certain actions. And I think as a group that it takes a certain level of physicality, discipline, and just the toughness on defense.
With that, Coach said you guys didn't have like a lot of rules defensively. How do you make sure you're communicating well enough to know what you're doing on any given play?
Yeah, I think that's the good thing about our defense is there isn't like a specific rule or role that each player has, but I think it's understanding what each player is capable of. I think each player 1 through 5 brings something different to the table defensively, and I think the great thing about it without those rules is it allows us to play pretty freely defensively. We'll take some chances at times, but also understanding the smart way about doing that and still staying disciplined even when some of those chances might not work out.
Lamar, what is it about Darren's offense that makes it appealing, and what are the things that you guys need to do well to make it successful?
I say the things that we need to do well to make successful is just, pay attention to detail, know the why we're doing it, as far as your screening angles, offensive rebounding, just being in the right position at the right time. And, just he's a mastermind as far as like just with calling plays, drawing up plays to get shooters open, and then just getting playmakers the ball to let them make plays.
And what is it about the offense that makes it appealing? Like when you were going through the process, you looked at that offense and went, I like it because of what?
Just because, the way I play, I shoot a lot of threes. So, a lot of our offense is made to, create open threes. We run in transition. We try to score early in the shot clock, stuff like that. So he's not one of them coaches that tell you, don't take this shot, only shoot these shots. But he's just, he's gonna let you play freely and let you, play within the game as long as you're just taking good shots.
How important is that for a shooter to feed your confidence when a coach is like, you have the green light, I'm not going to question you constantly, or just pushing?
It gives you the utmost confidence, as long, when you put in the work, you put in the time of day, get better at that shot, do what you got to do. And for him to just let you go, not have you on a leash, man, it's great for confidence.
Have you seen that Tucker playing for that? Have you seen that feel your teams that he's had where he has confidence in the shooters and that leads to more success?
Yeah, I think that's one of the great things about our offense is the freedom that we have offensively to make plays, take shots, and I think within that each guy kind of knows their boundaries, and I think it's more addressed as a team thing than it is each individual. He doesn't nitpick each shot, but if it becomes an issue as a team as a whole, then it can get addressed a little bit, which I think gives the guys confidence to know that they have the green light.
Tucker, going into your last year in college, just what's it been like having your dad by your side through this journey?
Yeah, I think it's awesome anytime you get to spend time with your family, but to be able to do it at this level, having my family around throughout my career and being able to go through this journey with him has been pretty special.
I want to say he had mentioned too, like when you were choosing schools, like you were always all in, like you wanted to play under him. Why is that?
Especially after, going there out of high school and at Drake, I think it went so well, and just the success we've had together and the enjoyment we've had throughout the years and the journey. I didn't really think there was any reason not to, follow him here, and I think it's, I think we're certainly both very excited about what's to come.
I think he mentioned that it was between your sophomore and junior year where you took a jump. When did it become clear to you that you could play high major college basketball?
I wasn't too focused on, where I was at, mid-major, high major. I mean, at the end of the day, it's basketball, and you're competing every day, no matter the level. I think, be honest, I always felt confident enough that I could play at that level. I think it obviously looks a little different, just based on like who you have on your team a little bit. But I think I've always had that confidence that I could play there.
You're about a week from your first exhibition game. What kind of expectations, what product do you want to see from yourself individually, but also as a team in that game?
We just want us to go out there and play the way that we've been practicing, play the way that Indiana basketball is meant to be played. Share the ball, play hard, play with intensity, play with a lot of physicality. So that's the biggest thing. And then it also gives us a look before the season actually starts, before the game starts to count. To just see the stuff that we have to build on film, and then just come together and to be a better team as one.
You got the opportunity to face off against someone in August in Puerto Rico. How nice is it to finally go away from playing each other for the last couple of months?
Yeah, I think it's good that anytime you get to play against somebody else to kind of see where you're at. I think having that trip to Puerto Rico and getting to play other teams and seeing where we're at, we were able to address some things when we came back in August. And I think over the last few weeks, we've certainly made a lot of strides in areas that we realized needed a lot of improvement. And obviously, there's still a lot of improvement, before the season. But I think that's something that you should always be trying to get better at everything, no matter how good you are.
Lamar, I want to get your thoughts on Reed Bailey. He's 6'10", but he can step out, handle the ball on the perimeter. What are the things you see from him that can impact you guys in a positive way?
Like you said, he's a stretch forward, so he allows us to stretch the defense out. He allowed guards like me, Tucker, Tate to get in and play 2 feet, and also he can make plays. So he's gonna have a big year.
For both of you, Josh Harris, Josiah Miles, they've known each other for a while now. Off the court, what are they like? How do they get along? What's their relationship like?
Like you said, they've known each other. They came from the same school, so they're a lot closer than some of us are. But I don't know. I really haven't seen them together as much, to really just get to answer that. But I mean, within like practice and stuff like that, if they're on the same team, you could definitely see the chemistry though.
Lamar, you mentioned that it was your dream to play in sold-out arenas. You haven't played in one yet in Indiana, but last week with the event on Kirkwood and the scrimmage, what have you seen so far from the Nation?
I've seen how passionate the fans are. Coming from Sam Houston, it was a football school. They won a championship in football, so we really didn't get the fans. So for me to be around a team that actually loves basketball, that's big.
Lamar, what makes Tucker a good player? What makes Tucker a good player?
He got on to me earlier because I called him old a little bit, so I'm gonna shy away from that. But
he's older than me, so that's why I got a little upset.
Okay. But he's a vet though. He's a vet, man. He plays like a vet on the court. He has that leadership that that every team needs. That he's familiar with stuff. So even as me being older than him, I still can go to him and be like, hey, how do I do this? How do I do that? And then he can but he also can stretch the floor. He has a lot of gravity to him, man. He's a great player, so they gotta respect him. And then he can also make the right read, so he can play on ball, off ball. He can do whatever we need to do to help the team be successful.
For both of you, we saw you in some of those kind of two-man kind of ghost screen actions last week in the practice and the scrimmage. Just how do you anticipate your ability to play off of each other?
Yeah, I think it makes it easier to play with such a great player like Lamar. It makes the defense have to make a lot of decisions, especially size-wise for our position, what they want to do. They want to switch. They want to try and get through. And a lot of those actions, can be difficult for them to guard. And, when we're both able to shoot the ball the way we can, it also makes it that much more difficult. And then also both able to put the ball on the deck and make plays for other people, which, again, makes it hard for them to make those decisions.
Tucker, how much has it benefited you simply to have basically pretty much a healthy offseason, which your dad was just saying you really haven't had much of those, right?
No, it's felt great, especially with a new roster, being able to do the whole summer with the team and practice with the team the whole summer and kind of build that chemistry on the court throughout a whole off season and not just getting thrown into the mix 2 weeks before the season starts. So I think that's been super helpful. I think off the court, the strength-wise has been super helpful and allowing me to trust myself a little bit more, especially through contact, and defensively has been super helpful.
And how good do you feel here as we get ready for games to start?
Yeah, I mean, I feel about as good as you can feel in the middle of the 6-week pre-practice. So it feels great. I'm ready to go, and I'm excited for the season to get going.
Tucker, after you decided to come to Indiana, how involved were you in recruiting Lamar or any of the other transfers to come join you?
Yeah, well, we had nobody on roster, so I was back for a couple of the visits. I know when Lamar was making a decision, I reached out to him a couple times, and there's a few others that I was able to talk to, and just being around the campus a little bit. But I know the coaches did a great job of seeking out the talent they wanted, and they did a great job of putting a roster together, and I'm excited for our team to showcase all of that.
Do you see yourself as maybe almost an extension of the coaching staff, just knowing you've been around your dad for all this time?
In a way, but I'd say I feel confident and comfortable with the system. I feel like I know what's expected of us, and I think it helped out, especially early when a lot of the guys are kind of looking around or unsure of what to do, what's expected, or I think just being that kind of constant presence of understanding what's expected. But to the group's credit, I think everybody caught on really fast of the system and what coach is trying to install into us, and I'm excited for the group to go showcase that.
Is there a weight off your shoulder from June to now, not having to be one of those teachers on the floor?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's a weight on the shoulders, but I think it's refreshing to see the guys' growth and just understanding the concepts and the terms, and honestly the team's growth of how we're coming together and meshing leading up to the season. And I think if you were to watch a practice from June 5th to now, it's not even the same team, which is it's fun to be a part of those strides and just see how the team has come so far.
Tucker, I want to get your thoughts on Lamar. What makes him a tough guy to guard, to cover, to defend? What are the things that really stand out from a player standpoint?
One thing about Lamar is he's extremely confident, and I think at this level, that's one of the things that you have to be successful. Lamar plays with extreme confidence and enthusiasm, which is great for our team. It's part of our identity is to be enthusiastic about wanting to be there every day, and he brings a smile to the practice floor, to games every day, and that just makes it more fun to be around. And then as far as a player, I mean, he shoots it really well. I mean, you have to respect that, and he's able to, when teams try to take that away, he's able to make plays off of that, attacking closeouts, ball screens, making plays for other guys. He's one of the best players in the country, and I think a lot of people will start to realize that pretty soon.
Lamar, just how beneficial was Tucker and I think Connor helped out with the system in those junior practices?
Like I said, it was big. It was major for me because I'll go to Tuck and be like, hey, what am I supposed to do right here, or like how was I supposed to do this, or like just for like terminology wise and stuff like that. So just having him as a crutch, to fall back on, it helped me a lot.
For either of you, this is a team that prides itself on energy. What are some of the guys? Who are some of the guys that have been the most energetic in practice so far?
I'd say Connor Enright, of course Tucker and myself, Tatum Conaway, Sam Alexis. Sam Alexis is a big energy guy, man. Like, he gets us going sometimes with just offensive rebounding, blocking shots, just having a presence in the inside.
I'd say everybody brings their energy in their own way. I think one big thing is the enthusiasm of our group. I think everybody wants to be there for each other, and I think that's shown in a bunch of different ways. Like, Connor, he plays extremely hard on the court, and you can see his enthusiasm just by the way he plays. And then other people, it's the talking, celebrating good plays offensively and defensively, and just kind of showing that enthusiasm after the plays. There's a bunch of different ways, and I think everybody brings it in their own way.
Obviously, you saw Connor year one at Drake, right? To where he's at now, where have you seen him grow the most?
I would say shooting the ball and his comfortability decision-making wise has been the two things that have stood out to me. Just his growth. He's always played extremely hard, great defender, but over the years you can tell how much more comfortable he is. You know, playing in ball screens, playing in transition, making plays for other guys, and being able to read the defense has definitely been a step I've seen.
Y'all room together with Drake, right?
Yeah.
What's he like as a roommate?
No, he's great. You know, there's never a dull moment for sure. You know, you see Connor play basketball, and that's exactly what you'd expect from him as a roommate.
I think you went on a recruiting trip with your dad to go see him. How nice is it to bookend from that recruiting trip?
Yeah, that was, 7-8 years ago now? That's kind of crazy. I think Drake played a game at Valpo, and which was only an hour and a half from his high school, and I tagged along to go watch him play, which was kind of cool, and just kind of see the journey that we've both been on to, you know, finally end up, you know, in Indiana is, you know, certainly something neither of us had, you know, planned out, but here we are, and we're both super excited to be a part of this and to finish it off right.
Tucker, did you try to convince Connor to come to West Virginia with you guys? And if so, what do you think maybe made the difference this time around moving schools versus last year?
Yeah, he came on a visit to West Virginia, and you'd have to ask him. I guess closer to home. You know, maybe just didn't want to go that far because he ended up staying close to home. And Indiana's, I know his brother went here too, so this has always been a bucket list of his to, you know, play for IU. So I think, you know, there's a lot of factors.
Lamar, how big of a teacher has Sam been, knowing that he was a national champion or is a national champion from last year?
Sam's been great as far as just, you know, bringing that SEC physicality, just like showing us how you know, a championship team practices every day as far as intensity wise. Sam, like I said, Sam's just the energy guy. So he comes in with the same energy every day. You know what you're gonna get out of Sam. So basically, if you don't, hold on, how do I put this? Basically, you got to meet his energy. If not, then you're gonna obviously see the drop off.
Tucker, how important is it to have someone like that around who's cut down the nets and knows what it takes to get there?
Yeah, I think anytime you're sharing the court with, you know, winners is extremely important. You want a group of guys that know what it takes to win. You know, everybody that has the same goal in mind of winning, because you know, that's not always the case. But with this team, you can certainly tell everybody's driven to one goal, and that's to win, to make the Indiana fan base proud. And I think you know, that's going to be really special this year and help us with the success.
You guys have non-conference games at Kentucky and then neutral sites with Marquette and Louisville. How excited are you for those games, and what opportunity does it present for you guys to chemistry throughout the season?
I think it's great. Obviously, going to be some tough games, and we're going to be tested really early too. I think Marquette's second game of the year, so we're going to find out really quickly how the offseason really went. But you know, I think the great thing about those games is it's a long year, so I mean, win or lose, like, there's a lot you can learn from that either way. I think when you're tested early, that helps you down the road. And I think we're going to Kentucky, which obviously will be one of the best road atmospheres in the country. So I think that'll really prepare us for the Big Ten play, and you know, I'm really looking forward to those games.
Going back to Sam a little bit, how do him and Reed Bailey complement each other on both ends of the floor, and then how do you guys really look to utilize that two big lineup this year?
Go ahead. Say it again.
So Sam and Reed, how do they both complement each other on both ends of the floor? And then utilizing that two big lineup, how do you guys really look to use that this season?
I'll say they complement each other greatly on defense. You know, with Sam being the physical big that he is, and then Reed just being versatile, you know, with his agility, his lateral movement and everything, that'll give us a bigger lineup. Because as y'all all know, we're not the biggest team in the Big Ten. So playing them two together would be major for us. And offensively, like I said, they both can stretch the floor. I don't think people understand, like, as good as Sam has got as far as stretching the floor and his playmaking and just playing off the ball. And then Reed playing the four and stuff, playing on the perimeter and stuff, can get downhill, very athletic, and then, you know, just make plays for others.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you, guys.